By looking at the fact that the Colts finished the season 3-4, you'd think they were on a down note. But they play this playoff game at home, and they didn't lose at the RCA Dome all season. First time since 1958. Hey, how are you? Jason Horowitz and NFL.com's Pat Kerwin.
Jason, playoffs are here.
We're ready for the playoffs,
Let's go,
right?
man.
Let's start with the first game, the Chiefs and the Colts. And, you know, we talked about the Colts 3-4, and Herman Edwards addressed earlier this week the fact that his team didn't back in. He said, we didn't lose, we won. You can't blame us for being in the playoffs. He's right about that.
Well, you know what? I'm with you on that, Herm, but so what? We're in the playoffs now. You got to get on a plane. That's never been good for you. You're taking your team on the road. Here's the bad news. You haven't beaten one team all year on the road that had a winning record at the end of the season. And you're playing the only team that had an undefeated home record who scored 30 points a game. And when you go on the road, here's the difference for you people that want to have it broken down for you. The Colts on the road the Chiefs on the road score 15 points a game. They score 26 at home, but they're not at home.
No, they are not at home, and the Chiefs have lost both times that they've ever played the Colts in the playoffs. This would be number 3. And they have lost 5 straight playoff games, and a loss in Indianapolis would tie the NFL record with 6 straight playoff losses. They haven't won a playoff game since 1994. Let's get into this Indianapolis team, and it starts with Peyton Manning, and that's where it goes. You see right there, Peyton Manning's NFL status this year compared to the Chiefs' defense rankings. Manning was first in passing touchdowns, second in yards a game, third in completion percentage. The Chiefs' defense doesn't match up, right? I mean, that's how it works out in this game.
Well, when you look at Peyton Manning, you've got to look at Peyton Manning, the playoff quarterback. And when there's a little schizophrenia here, he's 3-6. When I took a look at those 3 wins, here's what you see. 80% completion, 380 yards a game, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, quarterback rating of 153.
But 2 of those were against the Broncos at home.
They were in the playoffs.
Okay.
The 6 losses, I don't even know who the guy is. Can't recognize him. A 53% completion rate, 220 yards a game, 3 touchdowns in 6 games, 3 touchdowns in 6 games, 7 interceptions. The quarterback rating swing from his wins to his losses is 90 points.
You're all worked up about this.
Because he better show up and be the good Peyton Manning. That's what I say.
All right, well, you know who else has to be good in this game is Larry Johnson in that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. You're looking at what he did this season. You see the 416 attempts. That broke Jamal Anderson's record for most attempts in a season, which was 410. But the interesting thing about that Jamal Anderson Atlanta Falcons team, they went to the Super Bowl that year. Now, Kansas City to do that would have to become the second ever 6 seed to make it to the Super Bowl. Of course, last year the Pittsburgh Steelers, now without Bill Cowher, but last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Larry Johnson's going up against an Indianapolis defense. As we take a look at the defensive comparison here between the two teams, the Indianapolis defense is horrid against the run. All 16 games this season, they gave up 100 yards on the ground. Does Larry Johnson have to get 200 yards on the ground for the Chiefs to win?
I think he is going to get 200 yards on the ground, and here's why. I talked to Herman Edwards this week. Herm is a guy that if he gets down by 14 points early in this game, and I think there's a chance he will not abandon the run. He knows he can't get into a shootout with the Indianapolis Colts. He'll continue to pound the run. But the Colt defense, which is bad against the run, if they have a lead, they're going to sit back and play for the pass anyway. You might see Larry get big chunks of yardage. It's not about rushing yards. It's about points. And I don't think the Chiefs can score enough points to stay up with this thing. You look at the third down offense of the Colts, what they do on third down, and I look at Reggie Wayne and Marvin, just those 2 players, and what they've done on third down passing, and those guys have caught 48 passes this year that converted to first downs or touchdowns. That's where I think the Colts will break down.
Yeah, let's take a look at Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison here as on the season, and combined, the 2 guys have absolutely tremendous numbers. You take a look at their combined receptions. You've got 181 receptions, nearly 2,700 yards, and 21 touchdowns. Of course, you have Peyton Manning throwing you the football. But, you know, we said that we don't think the Chiefs can necessarily defensively hang with the Colts here because of a shootout. How do they stop these 2 guys?
Well, here's the problem they're going to face. I think Ty Law's got lots of experience with Marvin Harrison, and he knows how to play him. He'll be physical with him. He knows he has safety help over the top. On the other side, they're going to try to fudge it a little bit with Reggie Wayne, and because Dallas Clark is back, and Dallas Clark, watch him during the game, he'll be in the seam opposite Marvin Harrison. Every time that Peyton sees you rolled over the top of Marvin, he's going to look to strike Dallas Clark down the field. And when Dallas is healthy and doing that's what Brandon Stokely used to do for him, That's when they were devastating on offense. They've had a lot of bad games lately where they don't score a lot of points. With Clark back, the points will roll again.
Yeah, and they've been going to Aaron Moorhead, but with Clark back, they won't need to. One other guy back for the Colts, and that's on defense, is Bob Sanders. That'll be a big help as well. All right, key for the Chiefs here is going to be pass rush. Try to get to Peyton Manning and try to get him to move out of the pocket. Maybe not going to happen. Who's your winner?
Yeah, let me react to that comment. My winner is going to be the Colts, but here's the thing that's most impressive about Peyton. Peyton against the blitz. He's number one in the National Football League. Like his dad likes to say to me, my son's kind of like a hunting dog. When you blitz, he's smelling it and looking for it all the time. I like the Colts in this game. I think they're going to score their 30 points, and I think the Chiefs are going to score their 15 points.
We said it before. If the Chiefs lose to the Colts, they would tie the NFL record with their 6th straight loss in the postseason. The game starts at 4:30, and for more on this playoff game or any other here in the Wildcard weekend, be sure to stay with CBS Sportsline. For Pat Kerwin, I'm Jason Horowitz. Enjoy the playoffs. Talk to you soon.